Hello and good day to you. It's New Year's Eve today, 31st of December, end of the year, end of 2021. Thank God for that. If you're like me, you've been following the events of the last year and of course the year before. So this is our second year, nearly finished, with the idea of having all of these lockdowns, restrictions, masks, nappies, enforced jabs. Obviously, a lot of people have volunteered for it and are now suffering. However, a lot of that I've sort of had to switch off about because I don't want to really go on about it too much because it sounds like I'm sort of bringing things down, and I want to keep the energy up. I want to keep the vibrations up because if you dwell on negativity, then obviously negativity is what you get. So I want to try and put it behind me. I have a few things in plan, but the essential part of this story is, for the last couple of weeks, I haven't been interested in doing any videos for a reason, and there is a reason. I've sort of felt like, what's the point? We've sort of had so many bad things happen all year, and it's got nothing to do with the jib jabs or COVID. This is because we've had a battle for the last 7 years. I married a Thai lady, and she came here to UK in 2015 on a visit visa, which we got. And then, of course, we had another visa application the following year, 2016. For a variety of reasons, well, three reasons, the UK government decided that they would refuse her visa, a visit visa, based on these three reasons. Basically, two of them, in my opinion, were made up. The third one, you could argue that it's partly true. The application that we made in 2015 had the same information, it had the same job that she had. In the meantime, the guy who was doing the visa for the second time copied over all the information, and we assumed that he knew what he was doing. And obviously, if you assume things, then it makes an ass out of you and me, which is what happened, because he was a complete tosspot. And he put down this job, which, to be fair, the business had gone out of business. It actually had gone out of business, and she wasn't working there. She was actually unemployed. So when she told the under interview, she told them she was unemployed. She wasn't lying. It's just that the application form had the employer on it, and of course they checked this time round because they want to. What they do, it's run by a firm, so it's outsourced. The UK government outsource it, and it's VFS Global. They were based in Bangkok, and they have actually moved now to Mumbai, where they do all of their decision making. It's a bit like the DWP. They outsource and then they decide based on the information they're given. And this is what's happened. So VFS Global have an agenda that they need to find at least something to be able to refuse a visa. All right? So that's the idea. There's no idea about let's find a reason to allow it. It's the opposite. It's always negative. So you can probably guess what happened when we decided that we would, under advice of a different agent, and they seemed to think that it was going to be okay. It's been 5 years, and there was no reason why we couldn't apply, except for the direction of the refusal, which was, if you apply and there's nothing changed, then you will probably be refused. So that sort of was in our mind. So we didn't put down the job. However, I had to send my 3 bank accounts. I had to send 6 months worth of bank statements to prove that we had enough money to live on, which is what it all boils down to. It's always down to money. Anyway, we applied, and this agent took ages. They kept on saying, "Oh yeah, we're checking the paperwork. We're taking our time to make sure it's correct, because we don't want you to fail." So the trip is from Talkin down to Bangkok is 8 hours on a bus, 8 hours back. So she went down, met up with the agent, and she went into this big building. It's a trendy building where BFS Global are located. They take all your paperwork and they take your photograph and your fingerprints, which is standard, and they ask you. Well, you have to pay the money, but they ask you whether you'd like express service. Now, bear in mind that the actual visa is around about 100 quid. The express service was 200 quid. So that's 300 quid to get it done, 3 to 5 days. And believe me, when they say 3 to 5 days, they actually mean 6. We were on a time schedule because when we applied for this months ago, our plan was that she would come here to the UK for 2 to 6 months, in my opinion 6 months, because that's what you're allowed under the visa, and she'll come here for Christmas and New Year, because my dad obviously is very seriously ill and I don't think he will see another Christmas. And there's another story about that, another bit to that story. So it was a bit of a rush, and I was a bit worried that we would not get the visa back in time to be able to get a flight. And as it turned out, it didn't come back for 6 days, so it was late. It came back on the 23rd of December. So it left us 24th, but there was I could get a flight, but it would be a mad rush to get the, she had to do a test, lateral flow, because they won't let you on the aircraft otherwise. So she didn't have time, so we thought, well, we'll book for Sunday, the 26th. She would actually arrive early morning, 6 a.m. on the 26th. So at least she would be here for Boxing Day and New Year. She obviously missed Christmas Day, but hey, you know, that's okay. At least she would be in the UK. Now, so we had this visa application in, and obviously I put in my supporting letter that my father was ill. She was coming here to see me and also to see my dad. It was probably the last one. She had missed my mum's funeral. I had missed her mum and dad's funerals because I couldn't go there because of the lockdown and various things. So I missed her family, parents, and I was quite fond of them. But she obviously missed my mum's. That was 2020. And possibly she wouldn't see my dad again now. Anyway, so I had a message from my wife on the Thursday morning, and she said they refused it.
Say what?
Yeah, that's right. So she won't be coming, and I mean, from that point, I mean, I spent a few days thinking, what's the point? I really was at that point of life, because yet again, they've done it to us. The reasons that they gave, one of which we didn't know about, and really the agent should have checked. I mean, they took so long checking the paperwork. They should have said there's no evidence of your dad's illness, which is what they refused it on. They said you haven't provided any evidence of that in your letter, so therefore we're going to refuse it on that. So what I've got to do is put in a letter evidence my dad is seriously ill, which he is, and possibly not going to be around. And today, 31st of December, he's actually stuck in hospital. Not with COVID, but he is double jabbed, and he has, in my opinion, he has some blood clots in the brain. So, you can see how serious it is. And I'm supposed to evidence that in a letter to a visa agent for my wife to be able to come to the UK. The other thing that they refused it on, as you can see in this, report, they refused it because, in actual fact, she has a 10-year ban. Right, you'll be thinking to yourself, hang on, 10-year ban. As I said earlier in the video, it's 5 years on since her last visa application, so 5 years on, and it's 5. If we knew that there was a 10-year ban and it's 5 years on, and there's 5 years to go, why would I spend 400 plus? In fact, I probably spent nearer £1,000, and that is not including the air ticket, which I didn't buy in the end. But why would I spend that money knowing full well that she was banned? And I say this confidently because there's no paperwork that I have, or she has, that says they issued a ban. And they issued a ban based upon the fact that she said she was unemployed, and they said in the paperwork she had a job. Interesting. So they can stop two people legally married everywhere around the world from coming here for a holiday to see my father, and they can do that with impunity because they've lied. When at all did I receive this information? I didn't. I have gone through every single piece of paper I've got, even to the point of when I wrote to the via my MP, who is fucking useless anyway, but I contacted my MP, who contacted Immigration, Home Office, and their reply said, carry on, reapply. There's nothing we can do about it, but reapply. So the idea of reapplying, in their eyes, is once you've had a visit visa, what they want you to do is they want you to apply for a residency visa. A residency visa in the UK, if you add it all up, could be somewhere between 3 and 5, maybe 6,000 by the time you've finished paying all the fees and everything. So you're talking about money, lots of money, to get a visa to stay here for up to 2 years, and then you have to reapply and extend it. But also the idea, the last refusal was based upon, they claimed, that we were applying for a marriage visa, i.e. to come here to get married. Well, we clearly put in there that we were already married. We put our certificate and everything. So to claim that we were applying for a come here to get married, and to say that there was no marriage ceremony planned, I'm sorry, but I'm not a bigamist. I don't get married twice. So obviously we made sure that we sent our marriage certificate this time. There was no confusion, and we've been married for a long time now. But they wanted to spend 3 to 5, 6,000 on a visa to live here when that's what they're worried about, is if they get a visit visa, all they're worried about is them staying here, overstay, not going home. There's no reason to go home. She doesn't have a job, doesn't have a house. We rent a house. She doesn't have children. She looks after children, but they're not hers. She basically has no mum and dad there now. So you could argue that's a very good case, but there has to be some trust somewhere, and I don't do things. That's my fault. I tend to do things too proper. I don't like to, if I got to follow the guidelines, then I would follow the guidelines. I wouldn't say to her, "Oh, you're here now. Just don't ignore it. Don't go home," because I want to think about the future. I want her to come again, or things like that. Because it's no point in deliberately doing it and breaking the rules, because they will ban you, and obviously they have, and we didn't know about it. I have contacted a solicitor, but I'm still waiting to hear back because of the holiday. They charge a fixed fee, and it's quite a lot. But I think that the problem I have is that this UK government have a scam going, and when I tell you, you're going to be fuming. So remember I said I paid 300 in total. Obviously 200 of that was for quick service. Well, they keep the 100 quid for the visa because they failed. They refused it, so they get to keep that, and obviously they kept the last lot. So they made 200 quid out of me for nothing, for refusing a visa with made up lies. I really do find that this government are ripping people off, and people out there in the foreign countries are they're sort of going around going, how wonderful UK is. Let's go and see UK. Let's go to the UK. Let's go and live in the UK. Are they stupid? Because this country does not appreciate you. You're paying a lot of money coming here legally. When, to be quite honest, I have to mention it because it's the elephant in the room. The boat people, the migrants. Only the other day there was 1,200, and they're coming here for nothing. They don't have to apply for a visa. They don't have to speak English, which is another factor. The residency visa, if you apply for it, you have to have an English IELTS certificate. You cannot just have any old IELTS certificate. You have to have one that's been approved by the UK government. It has to have the official certificate. The problem is that the official one and the ordinary certificate, they're the same. All they've got is UK visa. So you can see obviously it costs more as well. So the problem is that she can't get this certificate anyway because she has attempted the exam already and failed. Fortunately, she doesn't have the level of English required, even though it's fairly straightforward. And I am currently teaching her now because the school that she was going to and costing me an arm and a leg has closed due to COVID. So there's no school open. So I'm teaching her as best I can, and of course, she would have to undergo another exam in Bangkok, another 8-hour trip, 8 hours there, 8 hours back, and of course, lots more money. So having that, you have to have that before you apply for the visa. Now, it's a good job we didn't do that, because if we'd have applied for it, in my mind, I think we would have got refused because of the ban. So I would have lost, a minimum of $1,500, because that's how much you have to pay up front, is about $1,500. And the rest of it you pay when you get the visa, because it goes to the NHS. It's in lieu of your national insurance. All of it's a big con, but all the money goes to the UK government, and all they do is find a really stupid excuse, and then they keep the money. The shocking thing that I'm going to end with is, you may be saying, well, argue the toss. contact them and complain. Sorry, there's no legal right to contest it, unfortunately. I'll give you a quick heads up. The law was changed in 2016. They said before that date, I have a friend who had a similar thing. They refused a visit visa, and he went to court and won. In 2016, they changed the law, so you can't do that. So if you have a visit visa and they refuse it, you cannot contest it. I know, it's ridiculous. I have tried. In 2017, 2018, I spent 2 years nearly trying to fight it. 2019, I contacted my MP because, well, it's useless anyway, but at least, somebody said, well, you haven't done that yet, so I did it. Of course, the immigration just wrote back and said, well, if you want to, then there's nothing we can do but just reapply. Yeah, brilliant. No mention of 100 quid that they owe me. And of course now they owe me another 100 quid. So there we go. That is the story of my wife not coming to the UK. And of course that is the main reason why I haven't really felt like doing anything really. I've not felt like making any videos or even just anything to do with it really. But I have tried to do a couple which you can find on the channel. Of course, do please join me tonight for our New Year's Eve show live stream. You'll be more than welcome, and of course it is a phone-in show as well. So I'll catch you later. Bye for now.